Hello, everyone. Marla Copal here. And today I want to ask you, how do you take care of yourself? We see a lot of people talking about their stress and their anxiety, and it's out there. I'm a very experienced in experiencing anxiety and stress, but I also have found some solutions. So, my audience are people who are running side gigs or small businesses, and they just really feel that they are the only one who can get this thing done, whatever the dream is that they're trying to create. They get into perpetual motion. Now, I can talk about perpetual motion because I used to work 80 hours a week and 7 days a week. And it wasn't until I'm having physical problems and issues and functional issues that the one doctor I couldn't hear was the one telling me to go fishing. What he meant was take time off. And he didn't mean take time off like my family did. When we took off, we got in a car like at 6 p.m., drove to the campground at 9 p.m., set the tent up. We were in bed, had breakfast, and we were on the hiking trail by 8 o'clock. Or when we left on vacation, we'd leave at 4 a.m. and drive part way with my dad, and he'd get on a bus and go home to work, and then Mom would drive the rest of the way to her family in Colorado. I only knew how to do things intensely. So it took a few hard knocks, getting stressed, getting a little bit unhealthy, to finally understand what this thing called anxiety and stress was. However, when people would come to me and they would just say, well, Marla, you need to meditate. It's like, when you're running 60 miles an hour a day, how is sitting down going to help? Nobody helped me make that transition from my fast pace to dead stop. And so some of you are better. The times have changed, and to talk about meditation is common. It's not a hippie thing anymore. But eventually, I've come into some balance with what it means and what people were telling me when they said slow down. They said slow down because you're not listening to your insides. You're not listening to your heart, and you actually have a spiritual being, a soul that needs nurturing. So there's one time a week that has been built into our processes, at least consciously, that there should be one day a week that you nurture your soul. That doesn't have to be with practiced religion or dogma or attending a place where there's great fellowship, yet that fellowship has its value. But when we're working side hustles as well as a full-time job, this is as critical to put on your schedule as anything else. And it's not like racing here and racing there. You want to have at least an hour on Sunday, or maybe a half hour every day of the week, in which you have something that you are not racing to, or racing for, or racing after. That pace has to come down. So people still say, why do I do what I do? Well, I actually just love what I do. But my pace has shifted. My pace is totally different. But I have to check in with myself now every morning. And before I even get started, I actually do better throughout my day if I do a little bit of early morning meditation. And I have one that I like. But I'm not a person. I do active meditations like with a chant or something because I still have a busy brain. And so I want to come in and I want to work with the busy brain. I don't want to make myself feel bad because I don't do it exactly like somebody else does it. And actually, if I go into full-time meditation, I'm always just going to end up taking a nap. And that's good too. So if you're one of those people that you're so high intense that you go, well, it has to look like this, be like this, or feel like this, give it up. Just meditate. And meditation can be just called quiet time. That's it. There's no music on. There's no computer on. The phone is shut off. Take 20 minutes a day in which there's no sound but the sound of your breath. Now, when everybody tells me that, oh, you just need to learn how to breathe. Well, what I didn't know is I had some physical things that until I really found the best chiropractor in the world, do I consciously and continuously breathe below my diaphragm now. But when I'm starting out with new clients in our consulting sessions and mentoring sessions, I have to tell you that one of the first things I notice is their breathing. And if they're only breathing down to here, to like the breast line, I know that the anxiety is there. They're taking a risk to spend time with me. So the first thing I get to share with everyone is a 5-minute tapping process to get the breathing going. Because you know what? The reason they tell us to breathe is we can't hear our soul if we're not breathing. And our soul will guide us. Our soul will guide us to our truth. And when we have our truth, we will be able to go ahead and to step into whatever challenge we want, or those issues we think we're having with our side gig or our full-time job, they'll fall away because you will be in your healthy space. Your healthy space is what will carry you through your trials and your tribulations, or what you think is a challenge. Or you may find yourself, after your meditation every day, something that you thought was really, really hard, you just find yourself laughing about it. And that's the joy. That's the joy when you can just laugh. It looks like a problem to somebody else. It looks like a disaster to somebody else. But you always have to remember, nobody died. So the reason you take care of your soul and you take that 20 minutes of quiet, whether it's daily or just once a week, I highly recommend you make it a little more if you're only doing it once a week. But tune in to you. You have a fascinating inner voice. And you take care of yourself when you listen to your fascinating inner voice. But some of you might have an inner voice that always tells you you're not doing enough. Well, that's another conversation for another day. But that's another way that I get to help people when I'm working with their businesses, because it's usually the business that drives that conversation. You're not doing enough. So what I would like to offer to you today is that you just take 15 minutes and have a discovery call with me. And in that 15 minutes, if I hear that these high level of stresses, we may just take that moment to help you reduce some anxiety. And then we'll see if there's a next step or we're a fit for anything to do with business or anything to do with just some challenges that you want to take on. But when it comes to taking care of yourself and your soul, I've had to restart and reframe that and redo that many, many times, because I can honestly tell you that I have ignored it. But when I get into crisis, I have to go back to taking care of my soul. Now it's one of the most beautiful habits I have. And I know everybody says you should do this and you should quit shoulding yourself. Just sit down, be quiet for 20 minutes. And if that means you want to listen to a guided meditation, fine. But if not, just listen to your soul. Before you go to bed every night, say, soul, what do you want to tell me? You wake up the next day, you'll know what it wants to tell you. And I want you to take that as your lesson for whatever that day is going to provide for you. So again, I look forward. If you would like to just have that discovery call, all you have to do is say discover in comments. I'm going to get in touch. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.